Alright, so here's how this is gonna work. Best player from every single team not in the Hall of Fame, not including current players, not including players that are gonna be on the ballot for 2021, not including players that retired but have not yet hit the ballot. Getting ahead of it early, because I don't want to hear David Ortiz, Adrian Beltre, they don't count. They haven't been told no yet. You need to be told no for the Hall of Fame. Maybe that was a little bit of a hostile intro, but I just wanted to get ahead of it early. So yeah, the best player from every single Major League Baseball team that's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. With that being said, let's get going right into this video. If you guys do enjoy this, you want to see more of this kind of content, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Get in that comment section down below. Give me your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like the guys that I put for each team? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And if you're going to any sporting events, make sure to head on over to SeatGeek. Use the code Giraffe. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase. So now let's get started with the best player from every team that's not in the Hall of Fame. For the Dodgers, it was a little tough. They have a lot of great players, but to me, Gil Hodges feels like the obvious choice. How is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? From 1949 until 1959, the guy averaged 30 homers with 24 doubles and 101 RBIs every single season, hit 281 with a 368 on base, 508 slugging, and 877 OPS, two-time World Series winner, 8-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover. He was a fantastic player during his prime and definitely the best one the Dodgers have that hasn't been in the Hall of Fame. For the St. Louis Cardinals, I'm gonna have to go with center fielder Jim Edmonds. Jim Edmonds actually had a really strong Major League Baseball career, spending time with St. Louis, Anaheim, and then some other teams towards the end of his career. During his prime, he was averaging 30 homers a year, 30 doubles, close to 100 RBIs, a 293 average with a 388 on base, 554 slugging, and a 942 OPS. Gold Glove center fielder, great range out there, made some spectacular plays, finished with almost 400 home runs in his career, over 400 doubles, just shy of 2,000 hits, and a career OPS at 903. Those are fantastic numbers. Staying in division, we're going to talk about the Chicago Cubs, and the best player not in the Hall of Fame from that organization to me is going to be Derek Lee. What a career Derek Lee had, like really good numbers. One year in particular in 2005 where he was robbed of the MVP, he finished third that year. He hit 46 homers, 50 doubles, and 3 triples, yes, 99 extra base hits in the season, drove in 107, led the league in average at 335, slugging at 662, and OPS at 1080. Also won a Gold Glove at first base. How does this guy not win the MVP? During the 2000s, he averaged 27 homers, 34 doubles, close to 100 RBIs. Again, an OPS approaching 900 at 899, batting average approaching 300, slugging above 500. One of the more underappreciated players of this century. Back then, they were called the Anaheim Angels, but we now know him as the Los Angeles Angels. I'm gonna go with Tim Salmon as their best player who's not in the Hall of Fame. With the Angels, he had 5 seasons hitting 30 plus home runs a year, won the Rookie of the Year in 1993. In 14 seasons, hit 299 home runs, almost 1,700 hits, over 1,000 RBIs, a 282 average with a 385 on base, 498 slugging, gave him a career OPS at 884. I don't think this guy's a Hall of Famer by any means, but he was still a really good player for the Angels. For the Philadelphia Phillies, I'm gonna go with Dick Allen. Dick Allen, really underrated player for his time, overshadowed by a lot of great players who played during the 60s and 70s, but his numbers were really good. During his time with the Phillies, he averaged 30 homers, 28 doubles, and 10 triples a season with 90 RBIs, a 300 batting average with a 380 on base, 555 slugging, and a 935 OPS. Won the MVP with the White Sox in 1972. In 15 seasons, finished with just under 1,900 hits, 351 homers, 320 doubles, 1,100 RBIs, and like I said, the slash line's incredible. 292, 378, 534, 912. Dick Allen's a stud. Tampa Bay Rays haven't been around too long, so I'm gonna give them Fred McGriff, who played 5 seasons with them. This is a guy who should just straight up be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. 493 home runs in his career, 441 doubles, almost 2,500 hits in 19 years, never accused of steroids, the name's never even been in the same conversation, and he was just a really good player, again, overshadowed by some of the guys who did it a different way. From 1988 until 2002, Fred McGriff averaged 31 homers, 27 doubles, and 97 RBIs a season with a 288 batting average, 380 on base, 514 slugging, and 894 OPS. 100% deserves to be in there. Terrible job by the voters. He's the best player for the Rays. For the Oakland A's, the choice was a little bit tough. Pretty much all their good players are in the Hall of Fame, so that leaves me with Sal Bando, who a lot of you probably don't know, but he played in the 70s and late 60s for the A's. With Oakland, he averaged about 21 homers, 23 doubles, and 88 RBIs every year. 256 hitter with a 360 on base, 422 slugging, gave him an OPS at 782. He walked a lot, like pretty much every single season, walked more than he struck out, which was really impressive. Still very good player though, finished inside the top 5 of MVP voting 3 times. Sal Bando had a solid career. So this pick for the Nationals might be a little controversial because he only played 1 season there, but I'm gonna go with Alfonso Soriano, who probably had the best season of his career in Washington, where he hit 46 homers, 41 doubles, and stole 41 bases that year. From 2002 until 2013, at second base, left field, right field, wherever you wanted to put him, Soriano averaged 32 32 homers, 36 doubles, 88 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases every single year. One of the more confusing players statistically ever, but when you look at his numbers, they were so good. I mean, 16 seasons, he had 412 homers, 481 doubles, almost 2,100 hits. The guy was a beast. The best player for the Texas Rangers not in the Baseball Hall of Fame is going to be Michael Young, in my opinion. Michael Young was a really underrated player, may have not had these OPSs approaching 900 every single season, but the man almost averaged 200 hits a season for his entire career. That is important. That's impressive. In 14 Major League seasons, Michael Young had 2,375 hits, which puts him just below 200 hits a year. He had 6 seasons where he had over 200 hits, was a 7-time All-Star, won a Gold Glove, won a batting title. Really underrated player. I mean, finished with a career average at 300, 346 on base, 441 slugging, gave him an OPS a little low at 787. Regardless, one of the better contact hitters of the 2000s, definitely needs to be included in this video. For the Atlanta Braves, how is Dale Murphy not in the Hall of Fame? Someone explain that to me. From 1978 until 1989, Dale Murphy averaged 23 homers, 23 doubles, and 3 triples with 89 RBIs a season, a 269 batting average with a 354 on base, 482 slugging, gave him an OPS of 836. He won back-to-back MVP awards in 82 and 83, finished inside the top 10 of the MVP voting 4 times, including winning it twice, 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, 7-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger. I don't understand how Dale Murphy is not in the Hall of Fame. In 18 years, he had 2,100 hits, almost 400 home runs. How's he not in the Hall of Fame yet? For the Minnesota Twins, it was tough, but I end up going with my guy, Johan Santana. Like, Johan was just so good. It's a shame that his career was cut short due to injury. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, finished in the top 5 of the Cy Young voting 5 different times, was a 4-time All-Star, pitching Triple Crown winner, Gold Glove Award winner, 3-time ERA title. He was definitely on track to make the Hall of Fame in his career, but again, injuries cut him short. Led the league in strikeouts 3 times, led the league in innings. If there was a pitching stat, good chance Johan was a leader in it. Absolute stud. For the Houston Astros, I'm gonna go with Lance Berkman. I think Lance Berkman was actually a really solid player, kind of underrated for his time. Guy who walked a lot, hit a lot of home runs. In 15 Major League seasons, he finished with 366 home runs, 422 doubles, just shy of 2,000 hits at 1905. Career slash line of 293, 406, 537, and 943. He was a switch hitter, finished inside the top 10 of MVP voting 6 times, inside the top 5-3, 6-time All-Star, won the World Series in 2011 with St. Louis. During his prime, averaged 32 homers, 36 doubles, and 105 RBIs a season with an OPS approaching 1,000. Fat Elvis was a pretty darn good player. For the Red Sox, a team full of history, I'm gonna go with Dwight Evans as their best player not in the Hall of Fame. Dwight Evans played all 20 Major League seasons of his with the Boston Red Sox, finished his career with 2,400 hits, 385 home runs, 483 doubles, almost 1,400 RBIs, a 272 batting average with a 370 on base, 470 slugging, and an OPS of 840. This was another guy who consistently walked more than he struck out in seasons. 3-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time Silver Slugger, averaged about 25 home runs a year, close to 100 RBIs. Really solid player. For the San Francisco Giants, the best player not in the Hall of Fame is going to be Will Clark. Will Clark had a really strong start to his career in San Francisco, where he finished 5th in the Rookie of the Year voting his rookie year, then 5th in the MVP voting back-to-back seasons, followed up by finishing 2nd in 89, 4th in 91, making All-Star games throughout that time. With the Giants, he averaged 22 homers, 31 doubles, and 89 RBIs every season with a 299 average, 373 on base, 499 slugging to give him an OPS of 872. For his career, he finished with an average above 300 at 303, on base 384, slugging 497, and 880 OPS. Just not Hall of Fame worthy, but still beast. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, I've got Dave Parker as the best player that's not in the Hall of Fame for them, and I personally think he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. The Veterans Committee needs to put this guy in. Dave Parker had some great years with Pittsburgh in the 70s and 80s, winning the MVP in 78. He was a 7-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time World Series winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting title champion. I mean, the list goes on how good he was. Cannon of an arm out in the outfield. Averaged 20 homers, 30 doubles a year, close to 300 with an OPS approaching 850. He was a really good, complete all-around player. Best player for the Pirates, not in the Hall of Fame. Next up is a team that Dave Parker did play for in the Cincinnati Reds, but we all know who the answer is going to be for them. It's Pete Rose. Of course, he's kept out of the Hall of Fame because of his betting issues, but clearly he deserves to be in it. He's the hit king, the most hits in Major League Baseball history at 4,256, played in the most games in Major League history at 3,562, 10 200-hit seasons in his career, won an MVP award, won a Rookie of the Year, 17-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, 2-time Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, 3-time batting title champion, World Series MVP. The list goes on for the accolades for Pete Rose as to why he's a Hall of Famer. Definitely the right pick for the Reds. For the Tigers, we've got borderline Hall of Famer Lou Whitaker. Whitaker played 19 seasons, all of them with the Detroit Tigers, finishing with just under 2,400 hits in his career, 244 homers, 420 doubles, and 65 triples, give him 1,084 RBIs. He averaged about 15 homers a year, close to 30 doubles, a few triples, finished with a 276 batting average, 363 on base, 426 slugging, and a 789 289 OPS. Very strong fielder as well up the middle playing second base along with Alan Trammell at short. Real close. Best player on the Tigers not in it. For the Kansas City Royals, I've got Brett Saberhagen, one of the few pitchers on this list because it just feels like pitchers automatically make it if they're good. Saberhagen was a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, 3-time All-Star, won an ERA title, won a World Series, Gold Glove, World Series MVP. For his career, he finished with a 167 and 117 record, 3.34 ERA, pitched over 2,500 innings, 76 complete games, 16 of them for shutouts. Not a Hall of Famer in my eyes, not a Hall of Famer in a lot of people's eyes, but for the Royals, probably one of the best players that they have that's not in it. Now, for my New York Mets, I gotta go with Darryl Strawberry. Lots of good choices, but he seems like the right one. I don't think people realize how crazy good the start to his career was. He came up in 1983, and from 83 to 1990, he hit 252 home runs. That's an average of 32 homers a year with 23 doubles, 92 RBIs. Like, his numbers offensively were so gross. He did have some problems, though, off the field, which definitely derailed his career, but he was on pace to be a Hall of Famer without a doubt. During his prime, there wasn't a lot of players better. Definitely the best pick for the Mets. Best player not in the Hall of Fame for the Baltimore Orioles, I'm gonna give it to Boog Powell. Boog Powell won an MVP back in 1970 for the Orioles, hit 35 homers, 28 doubles, 114 RBIs that year, 962 OPS, finished second the year before, finished third in 1966. He's a 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. In his 17-year career, he hit 339 homers, just shy of 1,200 RBIs, 266 career average with a 361 on base, 462 slugging, gave him an OPS of 822. Really solid player in Boog Powell. The Padres was definitely one of the harder teams to pick, and they ended up picking someone who really wasn't known for playing with San Diego, but Steve Garvey, I mean, he did play with them. The other choices just didn't feel great. Garvey, of course, had his best years with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but with the Padres, he was helpful a bit, just not as good. Garvey won an MVP back in 1974, finished in the top 10 of MVP voting 5 times, 10-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time NLCS MVP, won the World Series in 1981, 6 seasons of over 200 hits. Not really a Padre, but that's the guy who I went with. For the Cleveland Indians, this choice felt obvious to me. It's Albert Bell. What a beast he was. He only played 12 seasons in Major League Baseball, but his numbers are outstanding. He hit 381 home runs with 389 doubles, 1,700 hits, 1,200 RBIs, a batting average of 295, on base 369, slugging 564, and OPS at 933. Finished inside the top 5 of MVP voting 3 times, top 10 5 times. He was a 5-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner, hit 40 or more home runs 3 times in his 10 years, basically. Albert Bell knew how to hit baseballs. As a person, he kind of got left out, but man, could this guy hit. For the Diamondbacks, another expansion team, so it's a little tough to pick, but I went with Luis Gonzalez. He had a pretty nice career, especially in 2001, where he hit 57 home runs. But overall, for his 19-year career, here's what his numbers look like. 354 homers, almost 600 doubles, and 70 triples with 1,400 RBIs. He had 2,591 hits, which is pretty impressive. A 283 batting average with a 367 on base, 479 slugging, and 845 OPS. Not a Hall of Famer in my eyes, but had a really good career. For the Yankees, lots of great players, but almost all of them are in the Hall of Fame. One of them who's not, though, is Greg Nettles. He had a really good career. Really underrated player, especially with the Yankees. He played 22 Major League seasons, only 2,225 hits, but he was a great fielder at third base, and he could hit for some power. For his career, he finished with 390 homers, 328 doubles, 1,300 RBIs, walked almost 1,100 times while striking out only 1,200. Very close strikeout to walk ratio. Great fielder, great years with the Yankees. I think he's the choice over Don Mattingly. Brewers, not a lot of great players in their history. One guy that stood out was Cecil Cooper. Cecil Cooper had a pretty nice career, nothing special. Played 17 years, almost 2,200 hits, 241 homers, 415 doubles, and over 1,100 RBIs. Finished with a 298 average, 337 on base, 466 slug, and given an OPS at 803. Finished inside the top 5 of MVP voting 3 times. Was a 5-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, 3-time Silver Slugger. Never really one of the best players in baseball, but with the Brewers, he definitely had a solid career. For the Blue Jays, this one gets me mad, because how is Carlos Delgado not in the Hall of Fame? His numbers are crazy. On Baseball Reference, he's listed as playing 17 years. 4 of those, he played under 45 games in each of those seasons, so those don't really even count. From 1996 to 2008, Carlos Delgado hit 457 homers with 471 doubles to drive in almost 1,500 RBIs, a 282 batting average with a 386 on base, 552 slugging, gave him an OPS of 937 for over 12 years. For the season, he averaged 35 homers, 36 doubles, and 112 RBIs. Disgusting job by the MLB writers. I'll fight you to the death on this one. Delgado's a Hall of Famer. The fact that he's not even on the ballot anymore is crazy. For the Marlins, the obvious choice would be Miguel Cabrera, but he's still playing. So I had to go deep into their numbers, and Mike Lowell's kind of their best choice. Lowell played 7 seasons for the Marlins, averaging about 20 homers, 34 doubles, and 80 RBIs every single year. 272 average with a 339 on base, 462 slugging, and 801 OPS. 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, World Series MVP. So Mike Lowell's kind of the best of what they got. For the Colorado Rockies, again, another young franchise in the scheme of baseball history. Luckily, Larry Walker Walker got voted in. So because of that, I'm gonna go with Andres Galarraga. Galarraga could hit, and I remember as a young kid fearing this guy when he stepped up to the plate. He scared me. In his 19-year major league career, he hit just under 400 home runs at 399, 444 doubles, 2,333 hits, and 1,400 RBIs, a 288 average with a 347 on base, 499 slugging, gave him an OPS for his career at 846. Galarraga could definitely swing the bat. For the Chicago White Sox, we're going all the way back to the early 1900s. Gotta talk about Shoeless Joe Jackson. We know he's not in the Hall of Fame because he was a part of the Black Sox scandal, but we also know that Shoeless Joe didn't know what he was signing because he was illiterate. It's about time they put this guy in the Hall of Fame. Baseball Reference listed him as playing 13 years of Major League Baseball, but 1908 to 1910 he only played in 30 games, and in 1918 he only played in 17. So really, he only played about 9 seasons in Major League Baseball, and he had almost 1,800 hits, a career batting average of 356, on base at 423, slugging at 517, OPS at 940. He was averaging 216 hits a season. And then the last and final team of today's video is going to be the Seattle Mariners, and the best player not in the Hall of Fame for them is going to be Jay Buhner, who actually had a pretty solid career. Now, he's not a Hall of Famer by any means, but in terms of the Seattle Mariners' best players of all time, he's right up there. From 1992 to 1997 with the Mariners, Jay Buhner was fantastic, averaging 33 homers, 23 doubles, and over 100 RBIs a season, 261 average with a 366 on base, 508 slugging, gave him an OPS approaching 900 at 874. But for the Mariners, I think he's the best guy that hasn't made the Hall of Fame this far. So those are the best players from every team in Major League Baseball that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on who I put on my video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who did I snub? Let me know in the comments down below. Remember to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. These take a lot of time to make, so definitely help me out. As well, if you haven't already, click that sub button, join the team. What are you waiting for? Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. Always talking baseball over there. Gonna wrap up today's video there. I told you the bangers are coming back, and I think this is a great way to get it started. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.